So if I do cabaret or theatre or street theatre or outdoor arts, whatever I'm doing usually involves, by the end of the show, quite a lot of the audience on stage. And I am very physical. A lot of my work is, I guess, informed by carnival theory. I mean, I wouldn't say, I did actually do a master's in theatre arts, and I did it on carnival theory. And it's funny, isn't it? Because, you know, you leave behind the academic and then you come into your practice, and like what I do is, you know, what I do is a meringue, but I do quite a lot of political stuff, and in this climate I increasingly do more political material. And for me, my work is about being physical, being verbal, and turning the world upside down. So I often end up with men underneath me doing the splits with my bum in their face. And it's not just for the crude sexual, you know, innuendo for the gag. It's for, like, this is a woman standing, because whatever we think about glass ceilings being shattered, we all know the statistics on disparity of wages, and that still exists. We all know their hashtag Me Too, we all know time's up. And so for me, it's more important than ever to put forward a strong woman and to literally turn the status quo upside down. So, you know, that's a long tradition from the medieval period to now. So yeah, I guess I'm a feminist anarchist clown. I would say to anyone starting out or in the middle of their career to carry on, because as well as working in Europe, I've worked in Brazil, Colombia, the Seychelles, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, for which I did do the visa process. And the best thing about it for me has been to see cultures in their element, that I'm performing for. If I go to Spain, I'm performing for the local people, not for the tourists. In Japan, that you see, and often, you know, you see the inside of a plane, the inside of a train or a taxi, the inside of a hotel room. You go and do the show, it's amazing, and then you get back on the plane and leave. But for that time that you're with the audience, you're immersed, you're the alien. This is a very great question that you started with, because you're the alien that's landed, and it's up to you to try and communicate with them, for me as an envelope pusher, to try and push their buttons, but without, you know, the clown Jonathan Kay, he says that you should always leave the audience where you found them at the start. And, you know, maybe someone like Augusta Boal, Theatre of the Oppressed, might argue differently, Dario Fo, that, you know, if you don't make a change, if you don't kick up some, there's two arguments to that, isn't there? But for me, it's like I want to go as far as I can go with the audience, but I don't want to leave anybody psychologically damaged by the end of the performance. And especially if I'm going into somebody else's culture, and some cultures that are more, you know, sort of traditional in their gender roles. That's a really hard one as a female performer. Like, I don't want to offend you, but I do want to push you. So yeah, so I think the experience that it's afforded me to go and experience other cultures, and also the camaraderie that you bump into people you know all over the world, because it's not always easy. You know, if you land in Japan, you can't read the signs, you don't know where you are, you have to wait for your driver to come and pick you up, and as a solo performer it can be really isolating. So when you see people you know, it's like, oh, thank you, let's go and drink sake. It's just, yeah. I get one anchor, and so, you know, there's a technique in street theatre, that anchoring, that this is really important for buskers, that you really need to make contact. If you make really special contact with 5 people in the audience, everybody else who comes to watch feels like they want to be involved with that. And so if you get 5 anchors, you create like an invisible line of energy between those 5 people, and then other people want to get drawn towards it. And it's, I mean, even if you're not busking, it's a good way to solidify an audience, especially where there's a language barrier, or, you know, there's a big sound system going on behind, or a big group's been scheduled at the same time. So, you know, I anchor with someone, and wasn't always easy in the beginning. I made a lot of mistakes, and yeah, but you know, I came up with techniques and ways to get people on stage. If I give somebody something and then leave them with it, and then they say, oh, can you just bring that? Oh my God, now you're in the show. And you know, I do it in cabaret as well. I use a lot of audience participation in whatever I do. So yeah, it's just it's about talking to people, not at people. And that, I think, is the major difference between theatre and street theatre or outdoor arts, is that we interact. We don't act, we interact.